Hello and welcome back to FRLT season number 4. Yes, it is season 4, I know. It's been a few weeks since you last saw us. Sadly, Will is not available to join me this week, which is of course a bit sad. His name is there, but sadly he is not able to be here today. Of course, it's always a little bit disappointing, but to be fair, he does have a life, so we move on from that. Tonight is, of course, the Tier 1 Qualifiers, and of course the track we come to for that is Melbourne in Australia. As you can see, 3.279 miles, 14 turns, 3 DR zones down the pit straight, second straight, and down the back straight. Quite an interesting track to do qualifiers on. There's only going to be 6 drivers. ABE have not submitted a lineup, which means they will not be racing tonight. Which means they will not qualify for Season 4. So we are readying up now, but yeah, so that is that. Looking at the calendar, by the way, as you can see, we're going to be going to the Netherlands for round 1. Of course, we've got the qualifiers here in Australia, but it is Netherlands round 1, Bahrain round 2, Great Britain for round 3. Then we go into the lovely tracks of Kota, Brazil, Monza, China, and Saudi Arabia, before we then head to Imola and Austria for the finale. As you can see, here are the times. It's the same. Tier 1 on Wednesdays, 4s on Sundays. Both tiers at 8 PM UK time. Make sure to put that down in your diaries. But we have now made it to the race. As you see, some new little graphics added to the screen, which is quite nice, of course. But yeah, so we're going to be going into this. I hope everybody's having an absolute great evening here, because I definitely am. We're slowly loading in, and we are now in. Yes, I know, it's only 6 drivers, but it's only, at maximum, we're only having 5 teams per lobby. And there was only 4 who were willing to do lobby 1 at 7 PM. And so we will be waiting, but ABE are not turning up, so they will not be qualifying for Season 4 Tier 1. They won't be qualifying, which means, sadly, ABE already knocked out, so they're already out. XPG also without a lineup, but I believe they might be driving with somebody. But we do have XR8, HRT, and SCT all here, of course. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of drivers, but we do have 3 lobbies, by the way. This is why we have 3 lobbies, which is why we don't have a lot of drivers at the moment. First driver out on track is Levente. 18 minutes qualifying, 6 drivers. It's not about, by the way, just to make it clear, it's not about who goes fastest. It's not, this isn't a normal qualifying. This is based off of who is ultimately, as a team, who are fastest overall. So both times combined and met in the middle will be their qualifiers time. And that is what these teams will be trying to reach here tonight. So that is what you guys should be looking for. Who's going to be the closest teammates out there? All 6 drivers out on track. HRT, the first 2. Then we've got an XR8. They've got both SEC drivers and then another XR8 driver of Bran. So the lineups are Liogos and Levente for HRT, Powertran and Ned for SET, and Bran and Ryan Benink for XR8. All the teams, like I said, you know, it doesn't look like a lot of drivers, but to be fair, even though it doesn't look like, you know, that it isn't a lot of drivers, it's just about the times. It's about getting the lap time and hooking it up. And the first lap of Season 4 is going to be taken by Levente in the qualifiers, in the stages of qualifiers, which isn't officially the first lap of Season 4, but we will still say it's the first lap, or the first bit of driving we'll see this season. And through Turn 1 and Turn 2, very solid through there. Fast speed from himself, heading up now towards Turn 3. It's a bit more rounded than it used to be, Coming in early, got to get the car turning very good there. Now into turn 4, throwing the car through onto the curb, and now into turn 5, which ultimately ends off the first sector. Quite a short first sector, quite quick, and into the right-hander, then a little bit of a kink to the left, and then a long right-hander that comes round before straightening out slightly. Before then, we reach a little bit more of a kink, and then a long left-hander, which does go on for quite a while, I must say. Definitely does go on for a while. Heading now into the fast left-right. Got to get it right through here. I think this is turn 11 and turn 12. Very solid there from Levente. Very comfortable, but he has invalidated. So it is not all comfortable, but it is something. So we've got to look at Liegos, who's also invalidated. Some drivers struggling. Bran hasn't invalidated, though. So he's still making his way around. Let's see. What can Bran do? He's heading round. Ultimately, it will be Bran who finishes the first lap of qualifiers. He'll be the first driver to do it to have a valid lap, because both HRTs are back into the pits already. And across the line, what is Bran going to set as a lap time? To be a 1 minute 15.470 is the first time to beat of the night. That's beaten by Ned, who goes to a 15.226. But the 4 other drivers unable to finish their first laps. And that is quite shocking, I must say. It's quite an interesting one. It's an interesting one to see. I will say that. I didn't expect to see only 2 drivers out of the 6. I thought we were probably going to get at least 4, but Ned on top, followed by Bran. That means at the moment, if you don't set a lap, by the way, in the qualifiers, if you don't set a lap as a driver, your lap time is immediately put as 5 seconds slower than pole. Or, not 5 seconds, 3 seconds. So you're immediately 3 seconds slower than pole. So at the moment, you'd be doing a 1 minute 18.226. So that would really hurt teams. Also, XR8 were late, and so they are going to have a 10th, 0.1 seconds added on. It is 11 teams, by the way, fighting for 9 spots. AMS auto qualify since they are champions, but it is 11 teams fighting for 9 spots. It's meant to be 14 teams fighting for... it was actually meant to be 14 teams fighting for 9 spots, but it is 11. So still, 2 teams are still going to get knocked out. And at the moment, who knows? Could be anyone. Everybody else on track, and it's Powertran who's leading this group. Interesting to see from SET. Didn't expect them to be out there on top so sort of early on. It's looking like SET could actually be ones looking quite strong. We'll of course have to wait till Lobby 2 to sort of say roughly where they are probably. But we will also be basing it off of pole. So if pole is slow in one session and another, it's most likely they're going to be a bit further down the order. But we've got some competitive teams coming up, and we've got some competitive teams right now. But like I said, XR8 will be suffering a 1/10 deduction for a late lineup. So they are going to be suffering an extra 10th added on, which could cause them to be knocked out. So who knows? Coming round the final corner, Powertran starting his lap. We've now got 5 drivers out on laps, and the first one, Powertran, to actually start a lap. But he is going to catch up to, I think it's Brown he's going to catch up to very soon. Not looking as steady from SCT, from this SCT, as his teammate, Ned. Brown's lap looked a bit scruffy, I think, especially in the final sector. His lap looked a bit scruffy. He didn't look happy with the car. So maybe XR8 looking to gain a bit more into the next section. Purple in the first sector, so Powertran might actually be on a lap, but we know it does usually lie, so we'll have to see. But he's definitely looking like he's on a good lap at the moment, and that's exactly what you want to see from Powertran as he comes round. And coming to the end of the middle sector, it's not purple, so I think he might be slightly down on his... He's either slightly down, or he's quite a bit down, so we'll have to see as he comes round. Into the right-hander. Got to get it right. He does. Ooh, all the way up on the track limits. Through the second right-hander. Again, pushing it quite a bit into the hairpin. Throwing the car through. Looks a little bit edgy on that rear. And coming through into the final corner. Down the pit straight. Where's Powertran going to go? He's going to go slowest. This is a 15.9. It's not where he wants to be. He'll put them as about 15.6. At the moment, I believe. So it's not it's not where they want to be, I'd say. It's definitely not where they want to be. Levente had quite a bit of a better middle sector. He went 4/10 quicker than Powertran in the middle sector. Across the line, he goes P2, slightly slower than Ned. And again, Liegos invalidates. So some more disappointment. Really, HRT struggling to get in that extra lap, but that is 2 runs over. They're running out of tyres slowly. I think we've got Ryan Benink. It's not Ryan Benink, it's Bran who's coming around. He's invalidated though. He was a 10th down in the middle sector anyway, so it's a bit of disappointment. Ryan Benink, 45.7. He's also invalidated his lap. Quite a few teams struggling with track limits here, and that's not really a good thing. Ned starts lap. Can Ned improve? If Ned improves, we might actually be seeing provisional pole here, because even though Levente is only 8 thousandths away from Ned, if Ned can find probably about 2 more tenths, we'll have to see. Out of the first sector, it's over a 10th faster. That's a lot of time to find. Somebody's going slowly. I think that's an HRT who's going slowly in the final sector. Ned, flat out, pretty much the entirety of the second sector is just flat out. And Ned is up by almost 0.2 of a second. He's got to get this right, though, and he has. And it's looking really good from the SCT driver, from that McLaren. It's looking a lot more steady than his teammate. So this will increase their lap time, but slightly. Remember, if he improves by 0.2, it won't be an improvement of 0.2. It'll only be an improvement of 0.1 as a team. So even and he's had a bit of a slide through there. He might lose a bit of time. Heading through the final corner now, up towards the line. Goes Ned. Where's he going to go? It is an improvement. It's almost 0.2. Slight improvement in the final sector as well. 15.031 is now the time to beat. Levente has to find 0.2 in his lap. Diegos, I think, has come out for his second to last run. I think we might see another run or two. I know Lobby 2, we should be having... I know for Lobby 2, by the way, we should be having, I think, a full grid. I'll double check that now. Lobby 2... we currently would be looking at an 8-driver grid in Lobby 2. So it is a much more full there. And it is the final lobby, which also will be having an 8-driver grid. So we've got quite a few. Heading round. Liegos has got to put this lap in. He's got to get it right. If he doesn't get it right, I think could be the end for HRT quite early on, before they even get to the first race. They're going to be seeing their title chances disappear. I would be quite disappointed, because HRT actually had a pretty decent season last season, a few podiums here and there. So I'd be a bit disappointed to see that, from them, because they were quite strong at times. But Diego's going very, very dangerously against the curbs. He's really speeding. It's not a purple first sectors. And it's another invalidation for Liegos. This is not looking good at the moment, because now it'll be an 18.031 and a 15.234 separating them. Oh, it won't be looking good at all. Next drive to cross the line is ultimately the man of Powertran. He needs to get a lot closer to his teammate, because at the moment he'd only be doing about a 15.5 by my account. They'd only go up to about 15.5 as it stands, but he's already invalidated. Disappointment already. Bran hasn't invalidated, and he is going to keep going. Let's see what he's going to do. XR8, of course, they have that 1/10 penalty against them. He's up by 69 thousandths in the first sector. So he's found a bit of time there. It is going to bring him up, but he's still going to be in a 15.4. So he's still not on the pace of the front two. Can he find more in this middle sector? XR8 really need an impressive time here. He is up, but only by 68 thousandths. He's actually lost a thousandth in the middle sector. So he's still going to be in a 15.4. Remember, even if he improves by 600ths, he's still only going to get half of that, meaning he's only going to actually go up by 300ths of a second. So overall, as a team, they're not going to be gaining pretty much anything, and especially against a 1 minute 18 lap time as it would currently stand, it's not looking good. Drivers really struggling with track limits at the moment, but Bran isn't one of them to do it. And across the line, he does improve by only but only by 46 thousandths of a second. His teammate Ryan Benink, though, might actually finish a lap. And it'll be the 5th driver to finish a lap here in Lobby 1. And across the line, Ryan Benink, he goes into P3 ahead of his teammate, a 15.2. So at the moment, there'll be a 15.3 if we were to go with the middle time. But with the penalty, they'd still be a 15.4. So there's a bit of chance they won't qualify. 2 teams do get knocked out, at least, unless I do believe XPG are turning up. 1 XPG is turning up, I do believe. So there is going to be 12. I believe there's either 11 or 12 teams that will be racing here tonight. But yeah, that's better from XR8, but they're still overall, they are currently the quickest out there. Currently would be a 15.4 would be the best time out there, followed by my accounts, followed by SET with a 15.5. So at the moment, times aren't looking too bad. You know, don't get me wrong, they're not looking bad at all. They're actually looking pretty good so far. Teams looking pretty close. Lagos, once again, on his outlap for another time, another attempt. Can he do it? Will he do it? Can he do it? I don't know. But if he doesn't do it, we could be saying goodbye to HRT. We've already said, based off of Lobby 1, we've already said goodbye to ABE. As we know, ABE knocked out before it even started. So will we be saying goodbye to HRT? And out of the 14 teams who signed up to do the qualifiers, we've possibly already lost 3. And could we be losing? We've already lost 3, and one of them is ABE. Will HRT be one of them? Or will all 3 teams qualify to reach the main season? It's a troubling moment, and it's a time where Liegos needs to put in the lap, and he needs to make sure it's a good lap as well. He needs to get at least a 0.3. He needs to get at least a 0.4 at the moment for them to pull ahead of XR8 and be top of the qualifiers times so far out of Lobby 1. Will it work? Will it happen? We'll have to see in the next few moments. Not a bad first sector. He's struggled through here. He doesn't this time. He's made it further than his last attempt. So far, Liegos actually having a bit of a better lap. He's pushing down this back straight. Of course, he wants to get to the finish line quicker and quicker, and he wants to at least get there before he invalidates into the next chicane. He's got to get it right. He gives it some width, and he does. He makes it through. This is, I think, the furthest Liegos has actually gone in the lap without invalidating. He's got to get this next section right on the brakes. He's very deep. He's incredibly deep. He struggles to get the car turned in. That's going to lose him quite a bit of time. The rest of his lap looked pretty good. He's a bit wide there as well. A couple of struggles coming from Liegos right now. Through the final corner and up to the line, opening the rear wing. Liegos, where is he going to go? It's a 15.9, and it's the slowest time here in qualifying. That is the end for Liegos. But as it would stand, there's a 7/10 gap, which would mean HRT are also sitting in that 15.5s at the moment, unless Levente can find 2/10 and bring them in contention with XR8. We'll have to see. The SCTs are the last cars to come out. I think it's Ryan. It is actually Bran who's the first one out. Of course, they're under some threat here from SCT to lose out the lead. And starting off his lap is the man of Bran. Into the first corner he goes. It's quite tense. Even though there's not many drivers, it's very tense at the moment for these teams because it's the unknowing. You know, you don't know going into the next 2 lobbies because there's 2 more lobbies after this. There's another 8 teams, by the way, to qualify after this. And only 9 can get through. So at least 2 teams are out. So it's kind of the thing of if they don't do well, then that's it. Liegos is now done, which means it's going to have to be an improvement from Levente to be able to get it. Bran is improving. Can he improve more? Can he push more? Up and around, crossing the middle sector line. He's 2/10 slower. I think this is the end for Bran. I don't think, and that is the end. Bran, he's finished with his lap, and that is the session over, I'm pretty sure, for the man of Bran. 1XR8 done. We're going to be looking to Levente next. He's also invalidated, so it's going a bit crazy there as well. I think that's Powertran who's going slowly. He's invalidated as well. Multiple drivers invalidating. Ryan Benink hasn't. He's just set a purple middle sector. So we'll see as he comes round into the braking zone of the double right-hander through there. Bran retires. So it's all up to Ryan Benink to improve their time. And remember, it's only going to be half. No matter what he improves, it will get halved as the middle time is needed to be found. But at the moment, XR8 looking quickest out there out of anybody on an average. And across the line, Ryan Benink, he goes P2, 15.103. Solid time that was needed. It's all up to Ned, up by 900. We know Ned is going to be fastest. We know Ned is on fastest and pole. And that, I believe, is going to be it. And across the line, Ned goes to a 14.954. And that is, as I'm pretty sure that is, qualifying over. And as it stands, SET might have just found themselves as quickest. They might have just found themselves as either quickest or second fastest so far in the qualifiers. So they're in a good spot. It's either 15.4 or 15.5. So they're up there at least. 4 teams. They're in the top 2 at least. And that is going to be the end of the Lobby 1 qualifiers. So it is confirmed that is the end of qualifying. Ned on as fastest, followed by Ryan Benink, Levente, Bran, Powertran, and Liegos. I'm only really worried about, I'd say at the moment I'm worried for HRT because they're kind of sitting there with slowest and not really up there either. So we'll have to see. I think SET are quicker than them in the end. So it's a bit of a crazy one, to be honest. It is quite crazy, but that is the way it is. Interesting one, definitely for sure. Something that we'll have to look at, of course. But yeah, so that is that. That is Lobby 1 over. We're going to be doing Lobby 2 shortly. We're just waiting for everybody to leave the session and to retire. As they retire, we'll be getting the lobby already. And I'm going to stick around for a bit. And if not, that is Lobby 1 done, though. An interesting one, though. Definitely an interesting one. Yeah. So I'm currently looking at a couple of things. I'm just trying to figure out the time. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one. But we will be going to a short intermission in a few minutes. So that is everything done. I apologise you're having to see this on stream. I'm just having to quickly sort something out. I do apologise. I had to quickly fix that because that was going a bit strange. We will be back soon. The screen was normal, by the way, and it just went all wibbly wobbly, and I was going to fix that. But that is that all done. Ultimately, we'll be back in a few minutes. I hope you guys do enjoy it, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes time. Hello and welcome. And we are back. Yes, we are. We have returned after our little break. We are now here for Lobby 2. We've got 4 teams, remember. For Lobby 2, we have SKG, Nero, we also have TIE, and also EVR. 4 teams, 8 drivers for today's lobby. Remember, pole in the last session was a 14.9. So at the moment, it's looking a little shaky. I've seen some drivers saying about how their banker laps are 15.2. So we could be seeing a bit of dominance, a bit of strength coming from these guys. So this is sort of the main thing, really. So we do have both EVRs. I'm waiting on... So I'm just having a quick look at the moment. Peck also without a lineup, which means we won't be having Peck either. I'm just having a quick look at who to invite, because we do have both EVRs. We are missing a Nero driver at the moment, and that is Captain Wild, who we're currently missing, who is going to get another invite, so he can join. We currently got 5 out of the 8 drivers we should be having. We're currently missing a few. Waiting. So let's have a quick look at the calendar. We've of course got the qualifiers here in Australia. That's then going to be followed by the Netherlands, Bahrain, Great Britain for round 3, then Qatar for round 4, Brazil, Monza, China. Then we'll be going to Saudi Arabia, and then for the final 2 races in Imola and Austria. Currently, we are missing a TIE driver. As it stands, we're missing a TIE driver for now. Which means TIE look like they could be already knocked out of the battle. And we are just missing 1 driver now. We will be missing 1 driver for the moment, because SKG want to qualify. They've got Milan and Panos. Officially, it's meant to be for the lineups at EVR. It is Crossfire Strikes and EVR Connor. At Nero, it is Nero Mask and Nero Captain Wild. At SKG, it is Panos and Milan. And at TIE, it's meant to be Mike Talons, and a name that, of course, we've seen quite often before. And it's meant to also be TIE Alex, but ALECS, which means at the moment we're currently waiting on these drivers. We're waiting on one driver at the moment. If he doesn't join, it means TIE will face themselves having a time of 1 minute 18 for one side, which means even if he was to get a 1 minute 14.0, he'd still only get a 1 minute 16. So at the moment, it looks like TIE might actually be knocked out already before they've even gotten started. So yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, that is that for the moment. Also, looking at the track map, as you can see, it is Australia, Melbourne. For a reminder, 3.279 miles, 14 turns, 3 DRS zones, down the pit straight, second straight, and down the back straight as well. Also, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. My apologies. I did not mean to click on that. But yeah, as I was saying, we're about to get into it. They are readying up now. So we are about to get going. Next few moments. Hello, F1 Shorts. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great evening. Yes, only 7 drivers, disappointingly, which does mean it most likely means TIE are knocked out before they've even started. And that's a horrible thing to sort of have against you, that you don't even start and you've already lost out. You know, you've already you almost know you're already knocked out before you've even started. But tonight we're going to see who does qualify. Of course, Lobby 1, fastest time was in a 1 minute 14.9. Are we going to see that fastest time, that pole position beaten in Lobby 2? Maybe. Some drivers, Milan, saying about how he's got a very strong time. He was setting bangs of 15.2s. XPG are in Lobby 3. They are in Lobby 3. You are late, so you will be having a penalty because you did submit a lineup. So XPG will be having a penalty. They'll be having because the moment they'll be having a 1/10 penalty for a late lineup if they submitted it now, or they'll be having a 3/10 penalty because because of how late it is, because it is during the time it would be 3/10. So you would be having a very extreme penalty. But as you can see, 7 drivers. SKG in the Williams, TIE in the Alpine, EVR in the McLarens, and Nero in the RBs. Nero hoping for something tonight. They're hoping for something tonight. They were, as I think everybody knew, the slowest team last season. They struggled for points throughout their campaign. I believe they finished second to last, with only EVR below them in the constructors standings. They finished 10th in the constructors. Interesting one though. TIE struggled last season for pace. They really struggled to get anything together last season. I think they ended their campaign with 16 points in 10 races. Remember, that's 16 points in 10 races. This season, are they going to qualify? It's going to be very unlikely that they qualify, so we might be seeing TIE out. But we'll have to see as the lobby goes on. It is, of course, an 18-minute session. Already a minute and a half gone by. It goes quite quickly if you're not careful. So heading around, let's see what Mike Talons is able to do. I would be quite shocked to see if TIE do qualify, because of course they've still got to out-qualify 3 teams, because XPG also, I think, are racing, so they've got to out-qualify 3 teams to get one of the 9 spots. So 12 teams for 9 spots, so 3 will be out. At the moment, TIE don't want to be one of them, but at the moment it's looking quite likely that they will be one of them. ABE already confirmed to be out. Sadly, ABE already out of the qualifiers. A massive heavy hitter team that finished 4th in the constructors last season, third in the constructors in season 2, and 3rd in the constructors in season 1. Sadly out for season number 4. Disappointing to say. Nonetheless, it's very disappointing to see, to have a team out already. But Mike Talon's 44.077, not the worst we've seen, but he's gone very wide, and that's an invalidation already. Captain Wild coming round. He's going to pick up... Is he going to pick up any slipstream? I don't think so. But either way, it's a disappointing one. Mike Talon's not putting in a bad lap. Would have probably been roughly, I'd say, about a midpoint 15 there. So it wasn't actually looking too terrible for the lap time. Can Mask do something better? Of course, Mask scored the most points out of any Nero driver last season. Up to line, what will Mask do for a first lap? It's in 15.871. It's not the quickest of times, but it is something. EVR Connor goes a lot faster because he sets a 15.343 already. Pretty strong lap to be seen there. Who's just crossed the line? That's Milan. It's Panos next. He's coming up to line. Let's see what Panos can do. He's going to go P2, but only a 15.613. Crossfire goes into P2 behind his teammate, 15.553. So at the moment, sitting at about a 15.4. So about at the moment, equaling out with last session's best, XR8, who ultimately, I think, did a 15.4 as an average, with, of course, a 10th penalty added onto that. So it could be something to look at. Mike Talon's going round. We have got Captain Wild coming round. Nero not looking eventful, only 15.8 being seen from him. Captain Wild, he's going to set the slowest time of, so far, the qualifiers is 17.1, almost entirely. At the moment, would completely rule them out. By over a second, would rule them out of qualifying. Ooh, bit of a tough one to take for them. Milan's coming in, not happy with his lap. 2 drivers haven't done it. 5 have. Have to see. Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry you could not see the game. My bad. I actually did not notice that until now. My apologies. I was not looking at OBS. I'm a bit dumb. I'm a little dumb. My apologies. Oh, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. That's all I'm going to say. It's been a long day. My apologies, everybody. I didn't mean to do that. I would have clicked over, but yeah. Oh, what am I doing? It's like this isn't even my job anymore. Holy. You see, you take 3 weeks out and you immediately forget what you're meant to be doing. To be honest, you immediately forget. Oh, my apologies, everybody. I am a bit all over the place. Yeah. Sorry about that. I generally didn't. I generally forgot. But no more mistakes for me for the rest of the stream. I promise. No more mistakes. Sorry. It's fixed now. I do apologise. I'm just a bit thick. So, heading on. Mask making his way round. Let's see what he can do. Heading through the fast left right. Mask 15.8. He needs at least over 0.2 of a second, nearly 0.3 of a second to actually pull himself up into third. I think it'd be very difficult at the moment for Nero to qualify. They're only sitting in the 1:16. They're the lowest qualifying teams, as it would be if they would be the second lowest qualifying team, by the way. Possibly the only team behind them might be SKG and TIE, but we don't know. I don't know. But Mask is starting lap. Let's see, can he improve? He does need to improve. I'd say if he finds 0.3 of a second, I think it will be a pretty decent lap that he could say sort of kept up. But it's interesting to see that Lobby 1 already had a quicker time in qualifying off of the first run than here. But of course, EVR throwing a 1-2 at the moment, throwing a 15.4. It's looking incredibly close in the timings for the teams. But Mask is up by 1/10.5, exactly what he needed to find in the first sector. If he could find another, maybe even just 0.5 in the middle sector, that would be good. Bring him to over 0.2 faster and bring him up into contention. Let's see what he'll do. He's up by almost a quarter of a second at the moment he's up by. He's really finding time in his lap. That's what he needs to find. Let's see what he's going to do as he comes round into the final sector now. This is really a good lap so far, so at least he might move up to about P3. He is going to be in contention, of course, for that front row. Nero, using one of their strongest drivers to pull themselves into contention. Not sure Captain Wild is particularly helping it, but up to the line, what is Mars going to do? He's going to go P2, a 14.470. A very solid time there, and about the average time we were seeing from teams in the last session. I think we've got Crossfire. Somebody's coming to the line soon. That's Mike Talons, who does a 15.6. Then I think we've got Milan, who's coming up next. Let's see what he's going to do when he crosses the line. Milan goes fastest of all by a massive amount to a 15.080, which currently would put SKG, if I'm correct, at roughly about a 15.4 to a 15.3. So you might be seeing our quickest time so far from qualifying. Crossfires heading round. I think we do have Panos coming up next. He's improving by only about 900ths in the middle sector. Just over a tenth quicker to a 15.4. 7,000 slower than the man of Mask. But it's still P5. But it is that, it is what would be the equivalent of about 700ths, I'd say, of improvement for SKG overall. So it's, it could pull them up into a 15.3 and pull them up into being the fastest so far. We'll have to see. But still that fastest time of a 14.9, still not beaten by anybody just yet. Crossfire coming around now. Let's see what he's doing. He did a 15.304 for his first lap time. That first banker lap time. Can he do better going into this final sector? Can he find the time he wants to find? No, he can't. He's going to come into the pits. So he's obviously not very happy. Captain Wild as well, doing the same. Panos, I don't think... Is Panos pushing? He might be pushing. No, he's not. He's going to be coming into the pits as well. So only one driver is going to be out on track, and that driver is EVR Connor. Interesting to see. The strategy, Connor going on a sort of later strategy, means he might only get one more run, which means he's only going to get 3 runs instead of what we saw in Lobby 1, where some drivers were getting 4 runs. So at the moment, it might be a slight bit of disappointment. Nonetheless, slight bit of disappointment might be found just there, but who knows. Now, heading round. To start off his lap, let's ride on board with EVR Connor into turn 1. He's round the back of his teammate as well, about 400ths behind his teammate, just 39 thousandths behind his teammate, exactly. He's not far behind, he's right on the back of his teammate, which means, it was an improvement on his last run, which was good. Let's see what he can do on this run. His second run. I was talking about Crossfire, sorry, for his... He might even get a 3rd run in there. But Connor is on his 3rd run now. I got them mixed up, but either way. Let's see what Connor can do, because, finding time is quite difficult. If he can get in front of his teammate, it's a team sort of work here. Teamwork is needed. He's up by over a tenth, so he is going to go to a 15.2, which at the moment would land EVR as the quickest team. It would land them as the quickest team, the number 1 team at the moment. But with Panos' improvement, it's going to be quite close, actually. It could be between EVR and SKG for fastest. We'll have to see. Heading round the final corner, what is EVR Connor going to do when he crosses the line? It's going to be fastest of all. It's a 15.033 and now brings EVR fastest of all with a 1 minute. Yes, a 1 minute 15.1 as an average, bringing the time down by 3/10 from Lobby 1. That's a massive gap. But that was the risk I was actually saying about when we were watching Lobby 1, was that they don't know what, for instance, Lobby 2 or Lobby 3 is going to set. But it's clear to see here that Lobby 2 is a bit faster at least but not the fastest time faster. They're not faster at peak. As a peak driver, you know, we saw 14.9 come from Lobby 1, only a 15.0, 3.3 so far. So they're about, I think they're about 700s, 800s. I think they're about 700s, or about a tenth off of that fastest time. But Mask is up by over 0.2 of a second again. He's pulling in lots more time. That's going to send him to a 15.2 and pulling Nero back into a bit more contention. Another tenth will be gained from this. Whoa, a bit scruffy off of the exit there. He's still going to push. Still going to see what he can do. SKG also pushing. They want to get that fastest. He's struggling. He is going to go into the pits now. Who is leading this group? It is Milan. Whoa, and he's gone off, and that's an invalidation for Milan. SKG. Panos coming around now. What can Panos do as he comes up to the line of Sector 2? It looked decent. Wasn't purple. But of course, he's over 0.4 off of the fastest time so far in the session. And over half a second behind the fastest time so far during the qualifiers. So SKG not looking like they're the best on overall pace. But across the line he goes. It's a 15.219. What he needed, quarter of a second found. And is going to bring SKG back into the battle for fastest overall. We also saw Captain Wild, by the way. 0.4 improvement. Up to a 16.7. Now brings the gap down quite a bit. 1.3 seconds. So it'll be about a 16.1. So the gap is reducing bit by bit, 16.1, 16.2. So Captain Wild can find maybe another half a second in his final run. If he can maybe even just find another 0.3 in his final run, it could bring them a bit closer and possibly into the battle. But we know TIE have a bit of a problem. 15.668 would be their time, but added on with a 1 minute 18. I believe it is. I'll have to double check, actually. I'll double check quickly now because I believe it was a 15.18. Yes, it was. A 1 minute 18 would be the default time. 1 minute 17. My apologies. I thought it was 1 minute 18. 1 minute 17 because I've just had to scroll through the rules and I was looking at the wrong thing. My apologies. So we're going to see somebody else on track. It's Crossfire who's making his way round. He's out on another... Has he just finished the lap? He's out of fuel, so I think Crossfire's done because he's actually stayed the same. He didn't improve, I don't think. I think he improved by a few hundredths, but he's gone ahead of Panos. Not a lot happening out on track, though. Mike Talon's the first to head out for the final runs. Only 1 minute 50 seconds left. So, as we watch on, not many drivers left now. Crossfire is out of a final run. He doesn't have a chance to do another one. So EVR, one side of EVR's now stuck the way it is. The other side will have to try their best. But it's going to be Mike Talon's the first to try his best to try and reclaim some time, at least find a bit. It's at the moment going to be in a 1 minute 16. Would be where he'd sit. 1 minute 16 to 1 minute 17. Can we get Mike Talons to reach a bit higher? Mike Talons on his own. His teammate not responding and not turning up. Now leaves TIE in a zone of disaster. It's not looking so good for Nero either, because they could also be knocked out. So we'll have to see once all the times are calculated up. Nero also, by the way, receive a penalty for a late lineup as well. They actually receive a 2/10 penalty for a late lineup, with XPG also getting a 3/10 penalty for a late lineup. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. It's going to be added to their average time, not each driver, but just to their average time. So we could be seeing XPG, whoever knocked out his Crossfire first driver, to end his session. But it's Mike Talland who's going to be next. Who's going to put it on that fastest time? We're going to have to see as he comes round, but he's done with his lap. He's not happy, and that is it. It's then going to be EVR Connor. Is he going to come round? He is going to finish the lap. So TIE's day is done, and I think Mike Talland knows they haven't qualified for Tier 1 most likely. And across the line, EVR Connor, 1 minute 14.948. I'd have to double check, but I believe that is the fastest time in the qualifiers so far. Next driver to cross the line is ultimately the man of Mask. Can he find another few tenths? His teammate also on a lap without invalidating. This lobby's been quite good for not invalidating, but we'll have to see as Mask comes up to the line, cross the line. He doesn't go fast, and it's disappointment there. Panos goes P3 with a 15.1. Milan doesn't improve. It's 1,000th slower, but it is ultimately P2 and P3 for SKG, which I think sets them as either the fastest or the second fastest. Across the line, Captain Wild did improve to, I think, a 16.1. If I'm not mistaken, he improved to a 16.1. That's crazy. Yeah, he did 16.2, sorry, he improved to. Which means his teammate, which means they're only about 8/10 apart. Meaning that it would be at 15.8. So at the moment, Nero might actually be in for a chance, but this is how it's gone. EVR Connor is fastest, followed by Milan, then Panos, Crossfire, then Mask, Mike Talland, and Captain Wild. That is that. Interesting one to see. A very interesting qualifying. Teams not exactly where we thought they'd be. So, that is that for the moment. So yeah, so that is that. I will be hosting the lobby. It is in the qualifying announcements. Please look in there. Please, F1 Shorts, look in there. I'm hosting. It's right at the top. The lobby will be ready in the next few minutes. We give about a 40-minute gap between each lobby from the start of one lobby to the next. It's to give us time. So lobby starts at 8:20. But yeah, I do thank you guys. Absolutely huge amounts of support tonight. I cannot believe it. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are absolutely having a brilliant day. But yeah, I do thank you guys. It's absolutely an amazing day we're having. So yeah, so we are going to be making the third and final lobby of the night, which will see the teams of ABE, LR, TTRE, UF, I think that's LR, TTRE, URFT, VEL, and XPG, who will all be having who will all be joining. No, I don't. No, I wasn't. A penalty. Just seeing just reading the chat. Penalty. Late lineup. No, so an interesting qualifying session. Not a lot quicker than, I think on average it was quicker than Lobby 1. At peak though, peak times weren't that much faster. So, you know, I think I did see somebody say about they could have gotten a 14.8. They missed out on, I think that was Milan, who missed out on a 14.8. But that's an interesting one though. It's strange to see I think a team, like teams be so sort of close now on average. I think it is going to be generally quite a close battle going into this final lobby. It's, you know, it's trying to squeeze 12 teams into 9 spots. AMS already qualified. Next week, of course, we go racing as well, which is quite nice. To go racing next week for the opening race of the season, which is, of course, the Netherlands, the opening race of the season. Ultimately, we're going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 8 minutes' time, and I'll see you then. And once again, it is a welcome back to the Comms Box here for FRLT Season 4. And it's time for the qualifiers. And it is lobby number 3. Yes, lobby number 3. We return once again for the final lobby of the evening. Yes, it is the last and final lobby of the night. Which, of course, is a bit sad that we are going to the final lobby. It is the final few teams left here tonight. Which, of course, is, you know, it's slightly sad. The night is coming to an end. But it's been an interesting night, though. Lots of racing, lots of qualifying, especially. Lots and lots of qualifying. But let's go with a run through. Here is the track map for Australia. 5.278 kilometers, 3.279 miles, 14 turns, 3 DRS zones, down the pit straight, second straight, and down the back straight. As you can see, minimal elevation, I should say, minimal elevation on the track. Also, here is a quick look at the calendar for Tier 1. Tier 1 in for Season 4. The Netherlands is the opening race, followed by Bahrain, Great Britain, Qatar, and Brazil to end out the first 5 races. Then it is Monza, China. Then Saudi Arabia, and for the final 2 races, it is Imola and Austria. So that is all the races for Tier 1. Qualifiers for 4s, by the way, if anybody's wondering for 4s, is on Sunday. So make sure to turn up. Again, it is the same lobbies there, same times for the lobbies. So make sure you do join for that, because there is a lot to happen there as well. We've got, I think, 6 or 7 teams. Oh. There's 6 or 7 teams. Hope the stream is all working fine. Just let me know if it is or isn't. Slight connection problem. We're going to be a few minutes late quickly because EA's decided to be dumb. Yeah, so the stream is currently working. So, yeah, I'm quickly just going to sort that out. My apologies. Connection problems. So, my apologies to everybody. I would have bit annoyed. But yeah, I am inviting everybody now again, just quickly. But yeah, sadly, small disconnection problem. Everything else is working fine, which is good. It's good that everything else is working fine. We're gonna send the correct invites to people and get the full, I think, 8 drivers we should be having. But yeah, so my apologies for the slight delay to the evening. Quite strange timing, I must say, for it to happen. Not sure why it disconnected, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We move on. The game's a bit crap, so sometimes it does that. I'm inviting everybody now, and we should be going in the next few minutes once I get everybody in. Everybody's getting invites to join, which is good. Should be able to get everybody in the next about 2-3 minutes. So that's good. At least it's quick to get everybody in. So the lobby will be starting in about 3 minutes. Once I can get everything, I just got to get all of the settings sorted quickly. Just very quickly. Yeah, once we do that, we'll be straight into it. Bit annoying to have a disconnection, of course. Never really have that, to be honest. Never really get that. It's quite a strange thing to happen. But we're sorting it now. We're fixing it. And in a minute or two, we'll be getting going as usual. So it's just a minor thing. For just a split moment, it was a minor thing, but it's now sorted. Everybody should be in. Almost everybody should be in. I think we also have so we should have everybody in, and that is everybody. We're going to get going in the next minute or so, and we'll commence lobby number 3, the final lobby of the night. I believe we have all the drivers correctly. We're missing a TTRE, I think. We're actually missing a few. So we've got so we're missing a few at the moment. VLRN, UFRT are in. We're missing a TTRE. We're missing an LR. We'll give another invite to the LR driver missing. I think it's Valerio. No, it's not Valerio. It's Ruben. My apologies, it's Ruben. Ruben is missing. Jeroen Ruben. And Gatch is in, so we're just waiting on our final driver. And we'll be getting going in the next minute or so. I hope everybody is having a great Wednesday evening, of course. It's a very great Wednesday evening for myself. Been a bit of a long day. We're just waiting on one driver at the moment. Otherwise, we will go. We'll leave it 2 more minutes. Wait, and Ruben is now in. We're going to get going. And it is time to ready up and go. 10 drivers for the lobby. We've gone from 6, then up to 7. Now we're up to 10. Biggest lobby of them all. Let's see how they're going to do. And we are going. We're going to be getting going in the next minute. Oh, I'm actually kind of excited. I'm quite excited for this last lobby. I'm actually very excited to see, because this is where the final few spots, we've got 5 teams here. Out of 12 teams, we have 5 in this single one. And so it's, we've got 5 teams. We've got 12 in total. We've got 5 here. XPG will suffer a 3/10 deduction. It'll be a 1/10 deduction for XR8 due to a late lineup. So, a few teams suffering some penalties. AB knocked out. Peck are also knocked out. And yes, I know, Michael, you can't see. Not for the moment, because we're not in just yet. And now we are in. I'm not making the same mistake. I'm not making the same mistake twice. Let's make it very clear. I'm not making the same mistake twice. It works. But yeah, so as you can see, 10 drivers. LR in the RB, VL in the Alpine, XPG in the McLarens, UFRT in the Mercedes, and TTRE in the Aston Martins. Madness. Yeah, tonight's an interesting one. I think it's going to show what the drivers can do and what they can't do. The first driver out on track in this 18-minute qualifying session, the final of the night, is F1 Shorts. Quite prominent on the channel. We often see him in the chat, and we've seen him today actually. But as you can see, Shorts going around. It's the final lobby, 8 p.m. 8:20 p.m. lobby, 20 past 8, and ready to go for the final lobby of the night. Almost everybody's out on track. 9 drivers out on track. We're just waiting on Chanez to come out of the pits, but he's not out just yet, so he's waiting a little bit longer. But at the moment, we could be seeing XPG's got to do a good time because they've got a 3/10 deduction. So they're going to have 3/10 added onto their lap time, onto their overall lap time. So we're going to have to see. But I have an idea of 2 teams that are knocked out, and one of them is Nero, and sadly the other one I suspect could also be. I think TIE pretty much know they're knocked out. I think they know they're 12th. But we've got an Alpine starting a lap, and that is Daniel who's starting that. We'll ride on board with him as he crosses the line to start off his lap. Let's see how VEL Daniel's going to do into turn 1. He misses the apex a bit. He doesn't clamber over the curb. Might lose him a bit of time later on. Now heading through and down towards turn number 3. A little bit uneasy through the corner. He's not exactly happy with the car, I don't think. He's not pushing it. I don't think Daniel's pushing it. I think he might be trying to just get a lap on the board because this isn't a quick time. 26.283 for the first sector, and he's invalidated. So in the end, going safe has not worked for him at all. F1 Shorts, though. Still, we'll continue the lap with F1 Shorts. Heading round, opening the rear wing, getting to over 320 kilometers an hour through here. Absolute crazy amount of speed. Now into the left-hander. Misses the apex a bit. The right-hander also misses the apex, not hopping over the curb as well. But now heading down towards the right-hander. You've got to get it right through here. Very good from F1 Shorts, actually. One of the best I think we've seen through there. That XPG car looking very, very nice. That McLaren looking incredibly soft, and it doesn't seem to really struggle at all. Very calm and smooth driving from F1 Shorts. And up to the line, what is it going to be? It's going to be a 15.488 to start off the session. That's immediately beaten by Gatcha, who does a 15.431. Pishi then goes into P2. Then that's Kason White, who goes to a 15.8481. 1,000th faster. Holy. Valerio can only go P5. It's not the lap Valerio wanted. A couple of other drivers into the pits. Chanez is coming round, though. Not a good start for VEL. Alright start for UFRT. And not a great one for LR. P5 and no lap. Ruben not able to set in a lap just yet. Into the penultimate corner, now into the final corner. 14 minutes left on the clock. 4 minutes already gone. What can the drivers do? And across the line, what is Chanez going to do as a lap time? Chanez goes fastest of all. A 1 minute 15.113. Already beating the fastest time at this point in Lobby 2 and Lobby 1 already. Chanez leading the way. for not only all lobbies at this time during the lobby, but lobby 3 entirely. So we'll have to see. 7 drivers out of 10 have got on a lap. The first driver out on a lap is actually Daniel, Shanaz's teammate. Let's see, are VL going to try and snatch that 1-2, try and snatch that lap time and get what they need, get what they want from the car? You know, it's a risky strategy, but I think we could be seeing VL jump up the order. They had a decent campaign last season. They didn't start off great, but a series of P5 finishes pulled them up the order. I think they finished P8 or P7. Ooh, F1 Shorts losing 2/10 in the chicane. Not good to see. 2/10. Whoa, and I think we've just seen Shanaz hit the wall quite hard. But yeah, so Daniel now going on his lap. Starting off his lap. He's one of only 2 drivers out on track at the moment. The Bird, also out on track. Awesome name, The Bird. Oh, and it's in a validation straight away for Daniel. VL not getting away with it straight away, especially for Daniel. He's not getting away with anything right now. The Bird, though, out on his lap. We've also seen Ruben on also coming out, leading the next group. The Bird going to be starting his lap. Can he reach the heights of his teammate with a 15.4? Lots of 15.4s. We're seeing 4 drivers, by the way, in a 15.4. Can the Bird equal that as well? We'll have to see. Clambering over the curbs. That Mercedes is looking slick, and it's looking quick for UFRT here tonight. Already P4 and P9. Where can the Bird put it? He goes wide, and that's a strange place to invalidate compared to some other places. It's a really strange place, but he has sadly invalidated, and that is the end of his lap there. We then got Ruben 1000 making his way round for LR. Only P6 now. LR need a good performance here. 15.6 is very much on the edge of qualifying. It's on the edge. It's setting them off. The average I think we've seen so far from teams has been 15.4 and 15.5s we've seen from teams so far on average. So they are currently outside of that. But let's see what Ruben can do. If Ruben can go faster than his teammate, if he can go into a 15.4, it will set them as around the average. Heading round. It looks pretty decent through the first 2 corners. Now into turn 3, throwing the car through. Going a bit wider there. Choosing for a tighter line for the next corner. Whoa, all the way up to the line there. All the way up to the track limits. Now coming round to end off the first sector. Okay, 26.2. And he's invalidated Ruben with an invalidation. Disappointment there. I think that is Gatchu's coming around. He's only up by 3 thousandths on his previous time, which isn't going to get him anywhere. But this isn't good for TTRE because this is setting them as a 15.4. Still sitting in at that average. So at the moment, TTRE looking like they're in a pretty standard position. They're not looking like they're too great at the moment. Gatcha making his way round. Got a bit of a slipstream there. We'll have to see through the final sector how much that helped him down the straight, down the back straight. Let's see what Gatcha's going to do. A little bit slidey on the rear. TTRE, though, looking pretty good in lap time. 15.4 would be where they want to be. And across the line, Gatcha finds a 10th to a 15.3. So, a bit there. UFRT Pishi goes into P2 with a 15.2. Pulling it out of the bag a bit in that Mercedes. Exactly what he needed. I think we just saw Manolo go up into P7, only 15.7. Not looking good at the moment, also looking quite far off. The Bird making his way around on another lap. He's actually got quite a bit of fuel on board. And coming up to the line, the Bird, a 26.3. Interesting. Don't think he was pushing on that lap. He probably waited, but it's a 16.3, and that's all he set. A 26.3, sorry. And that's leaving them in a little bit of the mud at the moment. But it is Daniel who's once again starting a lap. It's been an interesting one for Daniel. His teammate, first of all, him yet to find a lap after 2 runs as well. He's only got probably about another 2 runs left. the session. So he's gone through half of his chances. He can't go through the other half. He's got to make this lap work. He's got to at least put a lap on the board. And he's made it through the chicane. So he's made it out of Sector 1 fully and into Sector 2. And through here, it's quite short. Sector 2 is actually very short. And doesn't take long to get through. 43.666. Quite strong, actually. That's a pretty strong time. Seeing quite strong there. Daniel into the chicane now, throwing the car through onto the curb. It's looking like a decent lap so far. He might actually go in front of his teammate. We'll have to see when he crosses the line. He's actually going very quickly at the moment. Oh, Shorts is losing time in Sector 1. Oof, we'll have to see. And across the line, Daniel is going to set a 15.276, 200ths away from Pishi, and into P3, and sets a 15 point, I think either a low 15.2 as the average for VEL. So they're in contention there. Interesting to see. Shanez goes even faster to a 15.078. He's found another about 600ths in his lap time. On his third run, he's been getting faster and faster, but this run hasn't yielded as much time as he would have wanted, I don't think. I don't think he's found that time that he wants to find. Ruben once again invalidates, and it's more disappointment because LR are not looking like they're in a good position. They're not even looking like they're going to qualify. You don't want to be one of the three teams. We know TIE have pretty much, as we know, we know pretty much they have been knocked out. So at least one of the spots, there's still two positions to be filled. At the moment, one of them could be XPG, but the other could also be LR unless Ruben puts together a fourth lap and puts in a 15. We'll have to see because the grid's looking incredibly close. Of course, AMS, the team that's guaranteed to get through, because they won the Season 3 Constructors' Championship. Because they've won it, they have a secured spot. That's why there's only 9 spots on the grid. Ooh. Of course, no teams. A lot of teams will know roughly what they need to do, but they won't know exactly what they need to do. And that's what I think some teams get a bit worried about, is they don't know whether this will be good enough. Because they've still got, for instance, if you're one of these teams out of the 5, you've still got 4 other teams who could do it. Oh, and into the back of the Mercedes of Pishi. Holy. Our first collision, our first crash of the season. Oh my God. No words there. Gatcha on a lap. I think somebody's starting a lap, but Gatcha's going round. Oh my God. Our first collision of the season already happening, but Gatcha is actually 400ths down on his lap already. Yeah, impeding. Something that's been a bit strange, but that actually at the moment could actually that will probably give you FRT a penalty for that. Most likely could be sitting around half a second penalty just for that. So we could be seeing them drop down the order and drop out of it completely, but we'll have to see. Gatcha heading round into the final sector. He's gone wide and his lap is over. He wasn't improving massively, so I don't think he could have gotten up to P2 there, but overall, 800ths would only really bring down. The only reason why they're not turned off is because, purely of the reason of that we don't have them off in qualifying during the races. We don't have them off then. That's the only reason why we don't have them off. It's because we don't have them off in qualifiers. We don't have them off here. We also don't have, collisions off in qualifying sessions during the season. And the Bird has just gone P2 with a 15.195. What a lap set, but a penalty is still layering over them. So qualifying is still on the edge for themselves, but new season. It's interesting to see though, Daniel, up there, P4. The moment they're looking at about a 15.1, so they're most likely qualified for VEL, but they can't be promised because EVR are up there. We know EVR got up there. We know a few teams have already reached that 15.1. Nobody's reached the 15.0, by the way, so far for an average. I think we know at least maybe, I think one team or two teams have reached the 15.1. We'll have to see because at the moment, if FRLT don't get a penalty, which they probably will, but if they don't, they'll also could be another team to sit into a 15.1 if they improve on their final one. But most likely, XPG do have a chance. I do think they have a chance now. You know, F1 Shorts in there, 15.320, and Manolo in as a 15.778, which would put you as about a 15.5. It's roughly around a 15.5, let's say. But with a 3/10 added on, 15.8 might become a bit more difficult, but we'll have to see. Daniel making his way round with speed. And up to the line, Daniel goes, I was about to say fastest of all, but it's a 15.1. And officially sets, as I believe, if I stand correct, could be the first 15.0. First 15.0 of the season. I do not know fully, but I think it could be the first 15.0 of the qualifiers, the one and only so far. Ruben, he's the next driver. He's finally going to be finishing a lap for LR. LR P8 and P10 at the moment, not where they want to be. And across the line, Ruben goes P7 at 15.401, and that's all he's going to get out of it. Those other runs might have been more, might have been better, might have been more useful to have, but this is all he's got. The next driver coming across is somebody's waiting. But yeah, I do agree, Ethan. I think it's a 15.101, yeah. I think it's just about there, unless Shanez improves, which I wouldn't be surprised by. I wouldn't be surprised if Shanez does improve in this final moment. But F1 Shorts is going to be the first of these drivers to cross the line, but there's some drivers who are actually having to rush around to get to the line. Let's see what Shorts can do on his lap, though. He needs to do better. Daniel has retired from the session. He's got no more chances left. One side of VEL out. Let's see what's going to happen with Shorts. Can he find time? Sector 1's quite long. Sector 1 has, I believe it has the second most corners, or possibly the most corners. I think it's the second most corners out of any sector on the track. Heading round, is it an improvement for F1 Shorts? It is 55 thousandths of a second. It's a small amount of time. Half would only be about 22 thousandths gained for XPG on top of their 3/10 penalty, but they're definitely pushing everything they've got, and F1 Shorts is trying to get the qualifying out the way. Only up by 35 thousandths now, so he's lost some time through the middle sector, so he's lost a little bit of time there, about 200ths. So F1 Shorts is really racing for the smallest amounts of time. He needs to get this Sector 3 all hooked up. And qualifying is now over. Only Daniel sits at the pits. Everybody's crossed the line. So it is going to be Shorts who's going to be the first one to cross the line. Then it will be a TTRE driver. TTRE not looking as good as they were earlier. And up to the line, where is F1 Shorts going to go? He's going to go to a 15.166 and go P3. What a lap time set. We've got to look to. It is Kason White, who's coming up to the line next. Where can he go? He's going to go to a 15.228, slotting in 5th place. I think we have... No, that's Valerio. Valerio's invalidated on his lap. That means that is the end for LR, and that is all the best they can do. Gatcha's coming up to the line next. He's only improving by half a tenth in the middle sector. Up to the line. Where's he going to go? He's actually slower when he crosses the line. Then we look to... I think it is Pishi who comes across the line. He goes P3, but with penalties, could drop them down the order. The Bird goes in, stays in P5, and that is an interesting one, and that is everybody over. Manolo retired, and that could be the end of the night. That is the end of the night for these drivers, and that is it. Shanez, the last driver to cross the line. Fastest of all, VEL 1-2. I believe He didn't even improve on his final run, but it is enough to secure them fastest of all in the qualifiers, if I'm correct. But that is one hell of an end to the qualifiers. Literally, drivers finding half a tenth and gaining 2-3 places. Woof. Lobby 3 has made us think quite a lot. Let's see what's going to happen. FRLT will be facing a penalty. We're not sure yet. We'll have to look at the clip, but they are facing a penalty for the moment. But this is the grid. Shanez first, VEL, Daniel on second. 1-2 for VEL, followed by Pishi, Shorts, The Bird, Cason White, Gatcha, Havun, Ruben, Valerio, and Manolo. And well, that is it. That's it for tonight. I know. All over already. So quickly. It's all finished and all over. Holy, what a night it has been. What a night it has been. Oh, I will, on Twitter, if you guys want to find out the results, I will be posting them in the Discord server, and I'll also be posting them in the lovely Twitter. The link is down below. Make sure to look out for that. Ultimately, guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a great day. Big shout out to our affiliate, SimRacing Center. The link for them is down below to their server. Ultimately, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. The support you guys have shown today. I'm just going to say it. It's amazing. I have no words. You guys are... I thank you guys so much. It is huge amounts of support. And it's really good to see. I love to see, you know, we've hit a new peak. Most viewers at a single time, 24 viewers at a single time. We've never hit that before. It's a new peak. And to start off Season 4 as well, absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. And just a quick rundown. On Sunday, it will be the qualifiers for fours. At the same times, I think we have 3 lobbies for that as well. I'll actually bring that up. I don't have a graphic for it, but I will tell you right now. We do have 3 lobbies. The teams are ABE, VRT, and XR8 in Lobby 1, TIE and XPG in Lobby 2, and in Lobby 3, TTRE and UIFT in Lobby number 3. Ultimately, that is that. What an end to the night, but holy. You guys will be seeing us next week when we go to the Netherlands for round number 1. And there is your calendar for Season 4 for Tier 1. You guys will also see the calendar for 4s. You can find it on Twitter and in our Discord server in announcements. But ultimately, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing night. And I'll be seeing you again on Sunday. And yeah, thank you so much. And goodbye.